Maya Jack Mohammedia. Apoyedra, Maya Jack Mohammedia, Maya Jack Mohammedia, Maya Jack Mohammedia, Apoyedra, go Maya Jack Mohammedia. See the power, say, oh, Apoyedra, Maya Nian Dennis, I've been the war, I've been the door, take the yonder. Say you go and say, Majo, Maya Yanda one is in your bar. Yes, sir, for Maja. To so just say, oh, Gladion. I drop or I yes, I die, I say. Manos, I don't know why you play your Maja, or try your forever. Why you pay your play? I be on your play. Put that yourself, put that young when you and say, oh, by some. Do us a nene glass, say, oh, Maja. You should just say, oh, just say, oh, just say, oh, hey, Moyo Siago, I'm like, I say, oh, this is a special birthday song for that dog. Jawali Jonetta, well, we say happy birthday to you. Enjoy your new age. The graduate daughter, not forgetting Shannon Taylor for Chicken Air. You want to remember her late daughter, Yolo Jira Wagner Taylor. Rest well. Not forgetting Brother Tony Wele Batu. Yasina So in Taxi. Mother Teresa Pregnant So in Rhode Island. Yeah, we are traveling. Edward Lusso, Capriada. I say, oh, Gadio. I say, oh, once I didn't know. I say, oh, I do this, wow, Gadio. Ante Orita So in Rhode Island. I said, my, Ante Helena, Poa, Rhode Island. Uncle Tommy So in Liberia. What did they let Uncle Stella So. Says Angie in Rhode Island. Anita Zian, Minnesota. Apoyedro, Jonetta, well, I did drop wow. Or as if I say, my person looking, my person looking, my person looking, my person looking. You just say, oh, no, I bleed Daniela. Not run on the way. You say, get it. I'm behind your car. When I go. Alfonso Sola, I look out. Many times of Mr. Alfonso So in the US. I thought Alfonso is young so. They could be up waking. I try to say, what's your boy? Young, congratulations to that Jawali Jonathan. Well, it's your birthday. I just say, oh, God, you better more like you. Upon Roma, whatever. And where you are, not forgetting the cousins of the celebrant. Anita Zian in Minnesota. Direct Minnesota. Uncle Jerry So, Rhode Island. And some important personality here, right? Not forgetting our late father, Johnny Zian So. Rest well, father. Man, better so, rest well. Man, necessary so, listen way. We are in a double celebration. Congratulations. It is your graduation and your birthday as well. We say happy birthday, congratulations. Our medical director. We want to say many thanks to other
Hey you, it's time to pack your bags. The world is calling. From the skies above to every corner of the map, explore all 7 continents with journeys designed especially for Europe and Africa. Whether it's a cruise, an all-inclusive resort, a hotel, car rental, theme park getaway, or the perfect excursion, Ayana's Dream Escapes brings the world within reach. Adventures start here. Don't just dream, escape. Book now, visit our site, scan the QR code, or just call today.
May 2nd, 2026 in the ocean state of Rhode Island. Let's hear from the house's mouth.
Hello to all my Liberian brothers and sisters, to our neighboring countries, Americans as well. You are all invited to the Rhode Island Liberian Fashion Show Gala, May 2nd at 6 p.m., 1 Ross Place, Cranston, Rhode Island. This is an event you don't want to miss. Tickets are $45 per person. Get yourself your ticket and secure yourself a seat. This event is also African wear only. You don't want to miss this event. Get your African wear and get yourself your ticket. Call the number on the screen. Secure yourself a seat. Some may ask, what is the reason for this show? And I'll tell you that Liberia went through a 14-year civil war. During that time, some of us were very young. Some of us weren't even born. And that causes us to lose touch with our culture and our fashion. We in the Rhode Island area has taken the initiative to put up a platform May 2nd to showcase our Liberian culture and fashion, what Liberia has to offer. As some may know, we have tie and dye as material to use and make beautiful styles, clothing. We have wax lapper. We have country cloth that is handmade by Liberians. All these things, some of us lost touch as to what Liberian can produce when it comes to fashion and culture. And we are putting a highlight on these things to let us Liberian who have lost touch as to what Liberia has when it comes to fashion and when it comes to culture, what Liberia can produce. Come May 2nd and get yourself the Liberian experience when it comes to our culture and when it comes to our fashion. So call the number on the screen. Don't be told. You want to experience it yourself. The red carpet will have some beautiful Liberian style made by Liberians. Tie and dye made by Liberians. Our country cloth made by Liberians. Come and get the Liberian experience. Join us. If you're not from Liberia, join us. Come and see what Liberia has to offer. What can Liberia produce? Come and join us. Get to know. We're also going to have some delicious Liberian dishes. Our music, our vibe. We're going to have vendors that will be selling African wear. The runway hour starts at 6 p.m. You don't want to miss that. We are going to be live.
Do you want to share your events with the world? Why not contact us? We are Liberia Public Radio, LPR. We are the specialists in advertisements, commercials, radio and TV services. We have the professionals that can help you sell your products and provide live coverage of all events such as weddings, conventions, graduations, reunions, anniversaries, sports, birthdays, baby showers, religious activities, funerals, and many more. Take your phone right now and call any of the following numbers: 682-433-8802, 267-648-6089, 484-786-3337, or 916-533-2048. Our customer service representatives are waiting to take your calls and give you the needed assistance. It is LPR, the home of excellent media services and your friends in business.
Good evening. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. I am Alfonso Zayn of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv, this Wednesday editions of All Things Considered. It comes away right here from the Diaspora Informative News Magazine, Liberia Public Radio, and of course, always I'm here with the rest of the crew, and we will be having a conversation here. We want to welcome you, wherever you are, this evening, this afternoon, this morning. We say good to have you here. We will try as much as possible to activate the line, the calling line, to get your side of your country, what's going on, what you are hearing, what matters to you, what is so important that we are not talking, you want us to talk about. It's a beautiful, quiet evening here in the East Coast, right here from the Ocean State, Rhode Island. We said, good to have you here. If this is the first time, we say you are wholeheartedly welcome. This is the Diaspora Informative News Magazine. And of course, I'm your host and presenter, Alfonso Zayn. The rest of the crew will be joining us here very shortly, and we're going to be having a conversation as well. Well, we do it here differently, not necessarily to amuse you or entertain you. This is a news outlet. We share news information that we receive and also get your take, and we talk about it. So we don't usually say it your way to satisfy your political curiosity or your leaders. We say it, we speak it. But we do have the diversity on this network in terms of folks that are here. And of course, you are also accommodated. You are willing, you are at liberty to express your views and your opinions. All we do is to call for civil liberties and we engage in these national conversations. It is obvious that we would not agree, but it's just a matter of being very much persuasive in your argument, why you believe in the person that you believe in, and how to get the person on the other side to your eye. That is very vital. But we do respect the views and opinions of people. You have the right to also critique us as we critique other people. All we require on this network is the civil liberties, because we all love, we all have our country at heart, except that it is expressed in different forms and shape. And so he has his own interpretation. Very much important and crucial to say that. So I want to thank you this evening, this morning, this afternoon. If this is the first time, we say you are wholeheartedly welcome. So let's do a little bit quick housekeeping here. As you are the very serious factor into all what we do. Now these gentlemen that come here with Tabata, that they are not the people, because they will never say it. They will never say it the way it should be. Their goal here is to promote, is to protect their leaders, or those people that we believe in. And so you also have the right to disagree with us. All we call for, let it be done in a civil context. Thereby, we can sit around the table and have these critical conversations, diverse conversations about our country, and ultimately we can find a common ground. Moses, good evening. The link is already out there to you, to whatever you are doing. Bidel Joey, good to have you. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. I'm not sure your exact location, Joey. Aliyu is here, one of our regular and prime-time followers. Aliyu, good to have you. Good evening. Augustine Pelinat, Augustine? Is that Augustine or Augustine? One of the two. Good evening, good to have you here. If this is your first time, then that's what we said. We are glad, we are excited to have you. Hopefully you will stay. Your views, your opinion matters. You are at liberty to tweet, to express, if you choose to call in or just to do a comment. Obviously, every comment comes through. We take a keen look at it. Williams, good to have you as well, and all of you folks join us behind the scene. Well, there, Charlotte, this is All Things Considered, where the analysts come and scramble on news, making headlines, wide range of different issues affecting our country in different forms and shape, but we give it conversations. At the end of the day, we do it right. Let's take a quick commercial break, and I will be right back in tonight's editions of All Things Considered.
Hey you, it's time to pack your bags. The world is calling. From the skies above to every corner of the map, explore all 7 continents with journeys designed especially for Europe and Africa. Whether it's a cruise, an all-inclusive resort, a hotel, car rental, theme park getaway, or the perfect excursion, Ayana's Dream Escapes brings the world within reach. Adventures start here. Don't just dream, escape. Book now, visit our site, scan the QR code, or just call today.
Let's call today. Let's take this commercial right here from home state of Rhode Island.
May 2nd, we are outside. To all my Liberian people, our neighboring countries, Americans, call the number on the flyer, get your ticket, get your African wear. This is an event you don't want to miss.
There you have it. That is on the 2nd. Is that this Saturday? Yeah, there will be a faction gala. It's been hosted by a group of Liberians right here in our own state, in the Ocean State. And I believe part of that is to bring the community together to showcase the talent, the culture of our country. The culture is still alive, regardless of our different of our locations. The culture is still alive. So that's something that worth supporting, and we have been extended an invitation to, we will be there to bring you, for those of you that outside of Rhode Island. But we want to encourage you, if you are in Rhode Island, within the proximity of Rhode Island, the Connecticut, the Worcester, Massachusetts, even New Hampshire, instead of the neighboring Bay State, here we want to encourage you to go and support. Mamalu, good to have you. To welcome to the show. How are you doing, Mr. Mamalu? How everything going today? How is your Wednesday going? So tomorrow we're going to keep track of that. Not tomorrow, but Wednesday, Saturday. That's when the factions gala are going to kick off with the Liberians. And strictly, our understanding, no European wear is strictly Africans. Something to push the culture out of our country. We say thank you so much. And if you are here, you are in Liberia, other parts in the events you have an event to cover, you have a program to cover, let us know. We can work it out. We are community-based network, but we do provide services as well. Let us know, and we can work it out. And even if it is in Liberia, whether it's graduations, what about a memorable ceremony that you have? Let us know, and we can work that out, with a reasonable deal. And we have to enhance and amplify your voice or your story. We have you to tell your story by getting it out there, and that's what we do. We've been doing for the past over 15 years. Time so fast spent. Just a couple of weeks, this same week, I saw that notification to live on Facebook. Since Lpr started a broadcast from live on Facebook, it's about 15 years now. So literally that's the anniversary. At the time we started, like I mentioned the last time, it was no Facebook Live. People just were using to literally a teleconference number where people just call in and they ask questions, they have this sort of engagement. That's what we're doing until the social media, Facebook, kind of got modified, and where there was a live view aspect, and then we all, like you, sometimes you do it, routine later on your own personal page, and that's how we started it. And so quite a little while, we have been around, and we are glad that you are with us. Blessing, good to have you. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on your location. You are under the roof of the Liberia Public Radio. This is Lpr, and I'm Alfonso Zian. So let's listen to somebody, Tabata, that always share on this network.
Teacher, whatever but you give him statement to make publicly because he believe in you. We will deal with you one by one. I told you yesterday, I didn't come on this platform. The CEO myself may plow today. We're not even talking. We color speak from each other. You myself may plow today. We color speak from each other. But I come on the platform here, a year or so. Be here, say President Waka be dancing for you to come and ruin people's life, for you to make Liberian people take over. But something your lie. Include me into your lying behavior. I don't lie.
Oh, what is he whining during baby cry? What is he crying? And he did that yesterday, just literally yesterday, on his program with his Reverend Terry Collins from Minnesota, and who came and just added more fuse to the already problem that were existing. The liberal seems to be sort of confused, disappointed to see what is happening. But what he doesn't tell you and mention you is always moving the goalposts. He always tries to remove the characters that are involved and claiming that other people are responsible. That is the dishonored part of him. You heard him saying that they give it to him. Okay, they give you something, you have the ability to give it, verify whether it is authentic, whether it is genuine. They give it and you run with it. It means you approve it, you accept it. But the liberal is always in the tendency of always removing these characters, people who should know better, or we remove them and hold others accountable, folks that are around them. When you, as a head, you should have the ability, you should have that courage to make informed decision, not people making decision for you. And this is what the liberal don't understand. Every night, every day on this network, he tries to find like a shelter or to shift his blame or to cast everything there because he believes what these people are doing, or what some of these officials are doing, they are not doing it. It is not them. It is other people are responsible. Even though they are in charge, they are the decision, they are the policy maker. So why not get the guts, even if you believe if you believe that they were doing this something else, you have to mention that. But he doesn't. He always shifts the poles. He always have that sort of blame game, blame people for things that go wrong. I think that is just unfair. And so we get a lot here on him. We're rolling out here. We're going to hold them accountable just how we hold politicians. We all must be held accountable for things that we say, things that we alter, because these things, people listen to us, and we try to protect our own alligators. That's what they do. That's the network here. Listen to this other Tabata, and I'm going to be bringing in Dr.
Host country, the United States of America. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay, folks, Samson told Lpr Public Radio. I want to thank all of you. The liberal is here to talk Tabata, and the Tabata not ending. That why I go for. I sent the link out already, and they put it on the.
He good at talking Tabata, so his actions are deliberate. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he does. He knows what he's doing. It's calculated. That's what he's good for. He doesn't care. That's who they are. By the way, let's have a conversation. So we're going to hold in the camera. You were crying like a little baby yesterday. It's on this network, whining, and the people not do this, the people do this. What are you crying for? You asked for it, you got it. So that's it. He who rides the back of the alligator goes into the bed of the alligator. Let me bring in Dr. Miles. Dr. Jones is Lpr-Tv and education analyst. And here on the diaspora informative news outlet, Lpr Public Radio, he's right here with him in proximity from the Ocean State and also a co-host of this network. You know, when we hear that we represent the actual true reflections and true meanings of the people. Dr. Mali, good evening.
Yes, sir. How are you, sir?
Great. Look, the old man was crying. You saw them crying here. A pastor, they were crying yesterday again. What's going on with them?
I wanted to have come to console them, but unfortunately, as usual,
it was good.
He sent me number to correct my email. I sent it back to him, but it's like I think they all stay in the bubble yet. So I'm waiting for him. When he recovers, we'll take it from there.
And here, God, he didn't even help the process. He's just added more trouble over the breach already cracked, and they are looking for technicians, unknown technicians. The ship were already sinking, and with an unknown technician, and the terror came, they were all just like, oh my goodness. All right, man. How is the Wednesday? Mr. Hassan Kraman, good to have you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So just tell us where you're watching from for you guys, and then we can also acknowledge that. And if you can just hit the share button to invite someone at your company, we will dearly appreciate that. Today is Wednesday, and is the program All Things Considered. Now, there's a lot of things happening. Why? The Camp Buru Zion. Burubura is a refugee camp from Ghana, right?
Oh, yeah. Burubura was labeled one of the growing Liberian refugee camp situated in Ghana. I think the lower western end of Ghana, and it was called the Buduburon Refugee Camp. According to statistics, it hosted over 16,000 Liberians. Yeah, so it was like one of the fast growing and one of the largest Liberian refugee camp next to the one that was in Waterloo or Ivory Coast.
I paused to wait to see whether you are going to be biased in this one.
Because it's like I visited 3 other camps. I went to Nigeria. Oh yes, I went to Ivory Coast. I was in search of my relative. I went to Ivory Coast. I went to Waterloo. And every time I went, I returned to Buduburom because you know that was that was the host refugee camp now. You see,
Yeah.
and yeah, and I'm told.
Yeah, what Budzaya is my last point to come here to spend like a year there. But Cam Waterloo in we say Salon, with the Salon Baba, that place there, man. I don't know how long you stayed there, but anybody who went through Sierra Leone and were in Waterloo, Waterloo was a camp. It was a camp. It was a camp.
Well, those all refugee days, those were glorious days, you know.
Man, sometimes we just gotta flex the muscle. It look like you missed something about talking about those camps. There's something coming to mind. Do you miss what do you miss about refugee life? I mean, everything has a good and bad side. Was there anything specific that you can capture? You really say yes, even though I was a refugee, but when I was there, this is what happened to me. That was some sort of a turning point.
Yeah, I think one thing I noticed, especially in the refugee camp, in the Buduburo refugee camp, is like we're forced to stay together, and because we're forced to get crammed up in a little place, we're forced to unite. We're forced to interact.
No choice. You have no choice but to
No
do.
choice. We're forced to go to church together. I mean, we're forced to play football. So it's like we saw each other as brother and sister at that particular time because we had one thing in common. We're rooted from our various towns and villages. And fortunately for us, we converged on this piece of land in the Ghanaian country. And so we rather saw each other as brothers and sisters, you know. And it's like, human being and life just started moving. In fact, what I learned from that camp is like life started for some of us for the first time. So we're back in Liberia, we're in school, just 1 year at the University of Liberia and working the next year, and so we're uprooted and we all found ourselves in Ghana. Some family that I didn't know, we all became friends, and life continues. People started building houses. I mean, people started to customize their home to their liking.
I did that myself. But I mean, people are just comfortable.
And you wouldn't believe, I had up to 3 houses down there. I started renting 2. It's that I never thought I would return home. So it's like it became just a second home. But I think one of the memorable aspects of the refugee life at the time is finding yourself in the queue to get food.
Get rush.
That time was like eating this burger wheel, There I got to like the burger wheel. Eating the burger wheel with fresh agua oil. But what was fascinating, I even wrote it in my diary book, is that I entered Buduburon camp in the night from the port.
Nighttime?
Nighttime. You see? And at the end of the day, they just assign us on 10. And like people were just moving up and down. That's you don't look at your own pride. You don't look at your personality. You don't see, I'm Mr. So and so. I mean, everybody was just moving and heading for survival. You see? And seeing myself sleeping in a tent for the first time, it didn't occur to me that I have reduced myself from one level to another level. It was just the focus of survival. And the interesting part is that some of us even live with rats. Those tents, they were just planted around and no rat just started. Oh my God.
One can eat your toe that you get.
I know.
Blanket.
And some people refuse to sleep in the tents. And sometimes in the night, they will just be smoking, moving around, going up and down from Area Z to Area A. People just moving up and down, just up and down until they can break. And by the time daybreak, people are already forming the queue on the line, try to get their food. Oh my God. It was an interesting life, you know.
Yeah.
It was an interesting life.
I mean, yeah, people. I mean, that was the saying. I actually started from the port of Monrovia when the president was captured. We were one of those group went to Salon, Freetown. That was a nice place. But you know, when things start going different, and then every hell broke loose, we started from the approved school. That was a school compound. The very first batch of people went that way. They took us. And we're there. They had a little bit creek running water. Man, woman, oh man, man, more ball. Get everybody getting in that place. Wow, that's yeah. I don't know some of these people who are now lawmakers must have been. They've been to those places. They were all there.
But you don't know the composition of the House of Representatives right now. Half of the guys were all refugee product. Of course. They were all over the place. Especially when I went to Nigeria. I was there for 2 weeks on the refugee camp there. And I left from there. I stopped to Aricos. You know, I was in search of my mother. Stopped to Aricos, met some friends. And I went to Waterloo. I think I was there for 5 days. I came back. So it's like I said, oh, but then it seems to be our refugee camp should be it should be the leading camp, who should also be leading all these camp, you know. So when the issue of the refugee politics started now, who should be the Liberian community chair, you know, it's like we start waking up to reality now. Also, oh my God, we are far away from home, you see. But it was a pretty good life. It's where some people started to be very religious.
Oh yeah, everybody.
People even promise God. So when I get to the United States, I will be praising throughout the day of my life.
Don't.
And to be very frank with you, when it came to serving God on the refugee camp, oh man, I saw that people were very, very sincere in serving God. I don't know if they were praying for so many different things or what, I don't know. But people were very sincere.
People were in desperation to get out. So all the hands, the finger was so crooked, there was everything. And, you know, made that full commitment. Let's bring in our senior analyst, Tara Collins, is based in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Joining this conversation as usual, let's have him. Mr. Collins is here. He is a senior analyst of the Liberia Public Radio and a strong supporter of Jose Numa Boakai. And that's how the BBC can call him Boakai, right? And how did they call him?
Yes.
Boakai.
Yeah. Boakai,
yeah. All right, good to have you guys. Good to be here. Oliver, good to have you. Joyce, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, guys. You know, sometimes we just have to retrospect some of the past, where we came from and where we are. What do we have a good time memory to retrospect? Our journey, because we do some crazy thing, we forgot where we came from, and we just think that it is. Mr. Collins, good to have you. Good evening. How you doing?
I'm good, Mr. So. How you guys doing?
Yeah, are you okay now?
Like how? I've been okay ever since.
You know, I was so worried. I wanted to even call your papa. The way you were crying like a baby. Was that yesterday? And then you came. You added insult to injury. What was he disturbed so much like that?
Well, I don't know. When he come, you can fire back, or ask him some other questions. But I think Lpr was sharing his opinion and giving the president his advice based upon something he read in the newspaper. So,
what advice? This man is a dishonest old man. He said needs to be advised. How can he give people advice when he doesn't Listen, his advice is, I mean, just a boycott would never listen to something told. That would be a very
Wow.
counsel to this president. I mean, I'm saying it, and you know it because he is just a bad dude to advise anybody.
You think so? You think he's a bad dude?
I'm telling you, I'm not guess. It's not a guess. I mean, you would never agree with me because that's your ally. You guys hang out. You guys do things together. So, you know, and that's why when he doing his tabata, you don't say anything. You don't frown against it. You don't speak against it. You welcome it. You facilitate this sort of divisive conversation, always coming from the liberal. So, I mean, that's who you guys are. We'll call you out every day. The man from Delaware. Good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, gentlemen. How you guys doing? Good evening to everyone out
Yeah.
there listening to word. Happy 15th anniversary to LPR.
Yeah, and that's to all of you. That's to all of you guys. I mean, you know, time fast spent though. Yeah, we've been in this thing for a while, and honestly, with all of you guys coming on board, because I was having too much a headache with the liberal. Yeah, the total man is he a nice guy, but when he ready, it can be terrible. So you know, it's just good. Let's see him. Let's see some of his behavior.
Country, the United States of America. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay, folks. Samson told Labra Pub Radio. I want to thank all of you. The liberal is here to talk tabata, and the tabata not any. That why I go for.
You see? You're not any. This guy, we will take the microphone away from him comes 2029. He has forecast that it's not stopping. So he taking it with him to 2029. So we will make sure that microphone is out of that. We want to have a retirement program, forcibly retire him and say, hey, go sit down and mind your grandchildren. Gentlemen, good evening. Welcome. Yeah, he may refuse to get old. Every year he 10 years old. Every year he's on 10 years. What kind of man is that? You know. All right, guys, good evening. A lot is ongoing. I don't know. There's some sort of video that we have not, for us, LPR, we have not established the authenticity of that video. However, we play it and give it a conversation, especially with the presence of the security analyst. I saw that it was thrown in our chat room. I didn't kind of listen to it, but just before coming on air, I listened and I said, you know what? I have to. I don't get it. But anyway, this is all things considered. First come, first serve. Dr. Malley is here. You guys know as a co-host, and so we have the right. We will call your attention. Please listen. I don't know what's going on with the liberals. The liberals, somebody out loud and they're falling apart. But anyway, I'm not going to go there this evening. I'm going to go there this evening. But Dr. Malley, let's get the ball rolling. What is happening? What's the G's in the town? The old man, is he in Rhode Island now?
I understand you're supposed to be coming to Rhode Island, but I don't know what net in Rhode Island. But I'm very sure he stayed in California, where he went to receive the Peace Award from some group.
You initiate removing people in office, then you can't say you get peace. What kind of peace is it? You remove people, you remove another representative. Okay, all right. But look, yeah, I mean, we got it. Anything happening is if a good or bad, it's under the watch of the president. But look, what's popping from your corner? What is so concerning? Too much is unfolding.
Yeah, I think what's on my corner here is like is the Yeke Koliba story. You know, in Liberia, there's a tendency some things will start, and maybe in 1 week time, you know, it disappears. But it appears this Yeke Koliba story is not going away, and I learned they are not headed to the Supreme Court. But the segment I want to discuss tonight is that let's assume the Supreme Court nullify what has happened to Yeke Koliba. You know, And I've been understanding from the grapevine that the folks at the House of Representatives have vowed that if Yeke Koluba is vindicated, they will accept him, and the House is divided right now. Some say he should rather go, even if the Supreme Court say he should go by, the president will not write all the kind of thing. And some say, well, we just got to accept him for the sake of peace, you see. But here is the caveat. If this man is removed from the House.
So do me a favor, Dr. Mali, just give your beat and the other guys, and then so everybody will have the, I mean, you hit your point already. Let's go to Terry Collins. Colin, are you texting Liberal?
Of course.
Not really, actually.
Look at
Liberal guy own timeline. So, you know.
No,
but go evening to you, the examiner.
We're having a quiet night. He doesn't even need to show face yet tonight. Now nobody wants to. We already have too much of drama ongoing. Yeah, let's hear you.
Yeah, good evening to you and Dr. Mali and Mr. Sigbe, and also to our listening audience. And yeah, happy anniversary to LPR, 15 years in service. So today, I don't know, but I think there are a lot going on in the country. President put a pause on the Putu deal that the vice president said that they had already concluded. And in my mind, from what he said, was that they had already concluded that the deal were going to go to Planet One. But the president switched overnight, you know, and put a pause on the deal right after the vice president went to a major conference. So that makes me to feel that the government,
that's a huge one.
Yes, it's very huge because it sent a bad signal about the government coordination. You know, it sent a bad sign for us. It's like we don't know what's going on. It's like apparently the president don't know what's going on, or we don't. Or, you know, it to me it sent a bad signal because if anything was the case, as I believe the president should have communicated, you know, to those who was just trying to transfer. So
don't take all the flesh on the bone so that people will still need to get some. Let's go to Delaware in the home state of Joe Biden. Well, security analyst, security and crime prevention practitioner. Moses, you ready to go arrest somebody in Liberia? Those people are causing problem?
I hope not, because I don't have the power to do that until there's a legislative statute. You can't arrest nobody. And I'm not sure under what direction I'm going to do that. But yeah, good evening, gentlemen, again. And
yeah, let's hear you.
Okay, one of the things, you see, there are a couple of things that I look at right now that is becoming more of I'm not sure if there's a season for it. But again, we're beginning to see the engulfs of fire in community threatening lives and properties. And our fire department is not equipped enough to handle some of those fires, like the one in over at a red light this morning, and that whole building was engulfed. And the kind of fire, I don't know if people understand the differences of fire and how you can put them out. Not every fire can be put out by water. So those are things that concerns me because it's a security issue as well. And the recruitment of our military forces, you know, and people airing those things on social media. And I think for security reasons, those things should be done without public viewing and public sentiment. And it's just going to exacerbate more of security threat and instability. People are going to start criticizing the process. So those things should be done, you know, in closed door, and you just bring your people out and they go in there. They don't need to be put on Facebook to show morale and show the caliber of people. And those are my concerns.
Okay, we'll try to do as much as possible, and so we can have a little time till we came in late. So I'm not sure whether we're going to cover that, but we'll do as much as possible. If we can keep it succinct and just brief to the point, that would be great. So Dr. Mali, take the lead here. Yeke Kaluba. Do you think, does he have a chance? And talking about that, let me see whether we can get a sense of the latest, because the guy who is really doing everything now is this guy here. Let me see. I hope I get the right video here.
But he said because you deny his lawyer, that is why he left.
So I just said it to you, Jay, don't delay my time. I get a hypothetical situation. Take for instance, you went to the court and you file a motion. Do you know it is a right of the judge to deny a motion or grant a motion? Do you know that? It is a right that the judge has if he or she enjoys. So whenever a motion is being denied, you have other remedies. That's why many times you see justices, they are taking on summary proceeding and the rest of it. So there are always remedies available. So you still have the right to make an appeal to the next highest body. You understand that? So now because I went to the court, you file a motion and the judge denied the motion, then you put your hand in your pocket, you walk away. So you insinuate that the matter will come to an end? You daydreaming? Yes, sir. Where you got communication? Yeah, we don't send communication. We send response. Let me say this. I said that there was, after the raid, the purported raid, which were not served, we came on special appearance. I said that to you. On the basis of the special appearance, that there was a bill of information, and we were served a copy of the bill of information, and we responded to the copy of the bill of information. It is on the basis that today, at this time, is scheduled for the hearing.
Do you think this court was checking anything within the decision?
9.2 of the House's talk about expulsion of any members of the House of Representatives based on the court. So what is the basis for which today they get everybody's name?
Were you opportune to have listened to the report of the committee? Were you opportune to listen to the report of the committee?
I was there, but there are many people watching.
So no, this is what I always say to your guys. You make your work easy. We can be the newsmaker, they will be the interviewer. It's not possible. You are the one. So
holding them accountable in their own words. That's the how you call him? Colette is is the big dog in the building now, presiding over this here. So yeah. Does he have a chance? He's the representative just from the little brief here and all of that, or is that's the end of it?
Well, from the look of thing, it seems to be that's the end of it. Because what I notice in a house now is like people tend to exercise the due process, but at some point become vindictive, Because what I see now, the vindictive aspect is like they have gained all against this guy, that he should let it go. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Was there due process? Well, the house is divided. Some group are saying, yes, there was a due process. Some group are saying, no, there wasn't a group process. I mean, especially the rule of law group. They get a rule of law group that is headed by Ability. That group is there. But then Yeka is saying the whole process was tampered with. This is Yeka bone of contention that three people signature were forged according to them. So my question now is, if Yeka identified three of his colleagues who were put under pressure or someone signed for them, it's like interfering with the due process. So there are three questions I have for Yeke. Are the people prepared to show up and have a press conference and tell the citizenry of Liberia, this is what transpired at the house? They forced my signature. I wasn't there. I told them, I'm not part of this thing, and they forged my signature. Are these people prepared to come forth and testify, even in a court of law? That one aspect. The second aspect is, are they prepared to sign an affidavit to show oath of office that indeed they forged their signature? Because then that now the criminal aspect is going to kick in. And it is proven beyond all reasonable doubt that the three guys, they defected, but they did not sign. Then Yeke may have a case. But even as of now, I've been trying to coon the newspaper in Liberia. I have not seen these three guys even identifying themselves to avail themselves even through the press conferences to say, oh yes, we are here to testify and tell the Liberian people the process was tampered with. I have not seen the three guys. I've been hearing three names, but they have not shown up. So the question now is, how authentic is Yeke? How authentic is this case that the people tamper with this process?
All right.
So I'm also holding Yeke feet to the fire to rather come forth and bring these three witnesses to testify on his behalf. First of all, giving a press conference to the Liberian people and to showcase how this whole process was criminalized. By forging signature is a criminal issue. And the security analysts can even support me on that. You see. Other than that, I don't think Yeke going to the Supreme Court is going to succeed. Because the House is saying they follow the due process to the letter.
Okay. All right. Let's have a quick survey around that. Let me go to Tori, go to Moses. If you choose to speak around that, that's fine. You want to go and jump to your own. So, Terry, this guy, is that an end? Is just a jawbone exercise that we are having now? Is it all over now? Because I think from the latest, it looked like the Supreme Court referred the telling him to go back. Will he have that opportunity? What didn't happen first that knew going to happen at this point in time?
Well, from what I see, it's almost like commentary after the news. Reason being is that the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court is arguing the case that was put before them prior to Yeke Koluba expulsion. So the Supreme Court is not going to argue as to how many people signed, and the Supreme Court is not dealing with the day that 49 signed. They're not talking about that discussion. That is not what on the decks. What on the decks was when Yeke Koluba walked out and they decided to put a still order prohibition, blah, blah, blah. So if the process have already taken off and the House is saying we did not receive your writ, that is where I think the whole discussion is right now. So to me, it's commentary after the news, except Yeke Koluba file another bill after Supreme Court, because in my opinion, I think Supreme Court will say, we don't have anything, we cannot rule in this matter because the process have already happened. The people say they did not receive the document, so maybe Supreme Court will rule on that matter in regards to whether if they received the information or not. And based upon that, they may like to throw it out and give a vague something to say they stay away. But Yeke Koluba could file another complaint stating that the people did not obtain the 49 per Dr. Marley's position, and maybe the Supreme Court can look into it from that perspective. But the Supreme Court is not discussing 49. The Supreme Court is discussing per the writ that was sent to the House that they said they did not receive.
Okay, so I'm not sure whether the due process going to kick in there. But let's come to our guy in Delaware, Heredet Moses, to help us out here, whether there was an alleged crime, and if that crime was committed, who did that, and why you think about the process. You listen to Colette. Colette is the guy that he's the big boy in the room now, and everything it has to go through his committee and all of that. You heard Dr. Malley, the process seems to be criminalized. I don't know whether you agree with him. You were here as a state witness, so you had to call him to go testify. He would tell them and say, "Oh,
they're gonna have a problem when Mali go testify. They're gonna have serious problem."
It may say you already agree with him. So let's see. Let's hear you on this whole thing. Where is this thing ending? Where is it going? How long you think we're going to talk about this thing?
It's going to be spoken about for a little bit, and I think initially, if you guys go back and look at my commentary or my comment in the beginning, I said to you all that if this process go through without criminalized process, it's not going to look good. They will be setting the wrong precedent. First, we heard the charges were treason, sedition. And we know the definition of treason. We've already identified that openly on this thing, and anyone can research that. So what happened again is that in democracy, they got two things in the criminal justice system. They got something called double jeopardy, that someone cannot be prosecuted for the same crime twice. If the person is prosecuted and they're found not guilty of that case, you cannot go back and reopen the case and say you want to re-prosecute. Which means that if Yeke Kulba had already been prosecuted by his colleagues based on their internal law and their rules of the law, you cannot go back and prosecute him under the legal process. Now, I agree, Pastor, with what the Reverend said, that this case is not about the removal. It's more about the prohibition being filed and the judicial branch trying to put a stay on it until they have a hearing of information. And that is right. And what happened is that in that thing, under democracy, the due process should take its course. Okay? And I can tell you one thing. The judicial is there to interpret the law and the Constitution. The same law that the legislator drafted and passed. So the judicial is there to interpret that law. And there's some people, laws were made a long time ago who are in the legislative body that don't understand those laws. So the process is to go through the court. And I think that's what the court were looking to do. So many of the cases of expulsion from such an elected position means that there's some crime that were committed. And these people were referred to, from my own experience that I have seen so far. I'll give you the Santos case in New York. I'll give you a couple of cases here in the U.S. under democracy. And people always say we want to compare, but we got a copyright. And so what happened is that those people were found guilty of a crime before expulsion. And they went to jail for it. Some of them were commuted. Their time was commuted. They were given clemency by the president, which is the highest office to give them clemency. But Jesse Jackson Jr. went to jail when they found him committed a crime, and he was a representative. So the Yeke Koluba case is so different. If he committed a crime, then he should have been prosecuted through the legal process. And if found guilty, then you go ahead and that's the step that I understand under democracy that needs to be taken. Or they can suspend him based until that investigation is completed, and the court come up with a verdict. After he's been adjudicated, if he's found guilty, then they can move there. If he's not found guilty, then it goes to another level. But none of those things happen. So I'm not here to try the case. I'm really here to say that this thing is not going to go away real soon. It's going to be around for a little bit because I see it turning around. And Colette now is the only hero from the legislative side who expelled him. So he got a lot of work to do. I know I saw a video with one of the representatives, a female representative, giving a news conference and said she never signed the document, a female legislator, and that she was going to find out how her name got on that list. And all of these things are already out there for public opinion. So it just exacerbating the confusion and go on. So
yeah, we're going to
that's my thing on it.
All right, I'm gonna do a last push and then we'll go to Terry. Dr. Malley, you brought how convoluted this whole case here and what it means for the ruling establishment, because there's no way that we can disconnect them with this whole thing. I mean, the issue with the and Kaluba being a long time thing here, it seems they found a perfect storm to do what they are doing. If they succeed, which most likely seems to be the case, they are going to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is carrying by. You listen to James Collier. It appears go back to the people, sending them back. Does that mean the due process was not fully exhausted? And if that was the case, why didn't the Supreme Court come up with a definitive thing here? Or it's like, let's leave this guy. We're making him run around like chicken without hair, and at the end of the day, he would be tired. And Yeke doesn't look like one who would be getting tired. He having his own press conferences, every Sunday here and there, playing national anthem when he's president, what's going to happen, what not going to happen, all of that. Is he getting himself into more trouble?
Well, first of all, let me make one clarification here. The writ of prohibition, in the first place, it was premature. There is no way the Supreme Court would have even paid attention to writ of prohibition against a case that had not even started. That's the first thing. It's premature. You went for a hearing and you say your lawyer should speak for you. And the people said, your friend said, you are a certain representative. Your lawyer will guide you in the process. And that is the normal legal tradition. And the lawyer decided to walk out and Yeke Kolba follow. Okay, and went straight to the Supreme Court and put in that prohibition. It's premature because the case has not even started when they put in that stuff. So they put the Supreme Court in a very difficult position to even add. You see? So that's the first thing. But here is the thing. This thing is convoluted for two reasons. One, if Yeke Koluba, in my mind, that rate of prohibition is dead. It's not going nowhere. Okay? There's no premium on it even in the newspaper. No. Those who claim that their signature were forged, that is the issue on the ground right now. That is the issue on the ground right now. Like the lady you just talked about. People are going back and forth. She come and say another thing. She go and say another thing. Even the three guys. The three guys that made the announcement, even in the newspaper.
And one of them now, they are calling.
They said they were not there. So it's like, they're coming back now to make correction and going back to make correction. I think Yeke Koluba can play within that terrain. No, but the rate of prohibition is passed. It's premature. It's not going anywhere. You see? Because you can't stop a case when the case has not even started by then. So how do you stop such a case?
Okay, all right.
Because it's a Yeke Koluba denied himself by walking out of that place. And he has stayed and be guided by his legal mind, and they go through the case, and they keep up with this thing. Then going now to advance a rate of prohibition makes sense.
Okay, let me hold you there. We're gonna make progress. So Terry, let's maybe put it in the biblical context, because the politics sometimes. Do you think Koluba denied himself his civil liberties? What happened? Does that cut the case?
This is where the
law, and that's where, before we come here, I believe he knows the law, and this is where we really have to look in there to see what the in-house, what the law says in the event a lawmaker is involved in such a thing. Okay, they ask him to bring his legal counsel. I don't know all of the technicalities surrounding that. Bringing them, are they there going to be a monument to just say, okay, no, you're not supposed to say they, or would they intercede for him? That is unclear with respect to their own rule. Yeke is a own lawyer. Now, I'm surprised there, but I think he listened to them, but he said, not allowing his lawyer to speak, it was like leaving him in the lion's den with Colette and all of those people who brought people now, a citizen filing him that he needs to go because of all of these statements have these long political implications. Do you think he's indict himself into this whole thing quickly so we'll get to your point, and then Moses lastly?
Yeah, I think he indicted himself because Yeke Koluba, first of all, he should have followed through with the process, because what he's saying that the people violated his rights, the people they were not clothed with the authority to expel him. They were clothed with the authority to investigate. And the investigation was not primarily about treason.
Yeah, but quick here, if I can intrude. I'm not sure. That's not a responsibility of the House to invest. The House can summon people. They are not a one to invest. I don't know whether it was an investigation they were doing. They can summon you for clarification, for, if they're apprehensive about what you say. I don't know from there whether if a violation occurred. I'm not sure whether it's an investigation, but go ahead.
Yeah, maybe the term I'm using is not supposed to be used, but I think they got a disciplinarian team that carry on the inner investigation or whatsoever you may call it, and they come up with the findings and they lay the findings to plenary, in plenary or in session, and then they will put it forth to them, and they will make a decision from there. So it was a disciplinary action taken on Yeke Koluba. The mistake Yeke Koluba made was to walk out of the place and then go and file a writ of prohibition. And the writ of prohibition is to declare the people, the team that was carrying on that particular, interrogation or clarification, whatsoever you may call it, to carry on that stuff, to declare them illegal. I think that was the word Dr. Mali used, I think that's it. It was very premature, and I think that's why the Supreme Court going to throw it out. Because, again, maybe the Supreme Court will see it as what was your rights, which rights of yours that were violated. Maybe he will say that, the people did not give me the evidence. They did not give me the evidence for my legal team to advise me, blah, 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 blah. Maybe, I don't know, I'm not a lawyer. Maybe that will work for him.
The Liberal declare you lawyer?
Mr. So, ain't you want my religious opinion? Or you want a law opinion?
Yes, sir. We're Liberal all here, grab something from Totan, they go to the other one, and then just put
Mr. So, even schools can expel students based on the inner rules and the inner regulations. Institutions do not need to expel you to go to court. They don't need to go to court to expel you. An expulsion is not a legal action. It's the institution telling you, say, per our rules, we don't want you here because of so and so things you say. That's why they say they're sending him to the law, so that the law, if the law see it to be treasonous, they will do the investigation and then they will send him to court on allegation of treason. But the horse is saying, we're taking disciplinary action against you per our rule. The statement you made is high disorderly conduct. So Yeke Koluba was just going to sit down there and let the people speak to him and give a own complaint. And then if the people if they take an action against him that will warrant expulsion, then he can go to the law. But like what Dr. Mali said, his action was premature, and we think that the court is going to throw it out.
Okay. All right. Moses, quickly, so we got a terror point and get to your point because we want to make sure.
Yes, sir. Quickly. Let me just say this. Yeke Koluba is not an ordinary citizen working or going to school. This is someone who represents a constituency, was elected. When you are elected into position, you fit into a total different category We need to be frank and fair with that, especially under the principles of democracy. Under the principle of democracy. The democracy principle does not apply to you and me who are regular citizens. It applies to people who represent us. We all can go and argue issues in our, among those people. So to pick one person among us to do that. And that's the power. And that's why he took an oath to protect and serve that constituents, number one. Number two is that when you write somebody and say they're coming, you got to tell them their offenses. And you tell them to come with an attorney. And that was the letter that they brought. That's why Yeka Koluba took his attorneys with him, because his attorney. Now, one of the things that we have that is unfolding now is that our lawmakers are not okra with the law, and they didn't go to law school. Most of them did not go to law school, okay? Whereas in other democracy, most of the people that you see representing their people, they're already lawyers. They are already lawyers, so they know how to represent themselves. In any event, that's the constitutional right of anyone to have someone represent them. Now, here what it is. When the fire incident happened, let me give you one example. When the fire incident happened and they called Focal for what? For questioning at the police station, who accompanied him to the police station? Was Fanati, the Speaker of the House. And they accepted him in the room. Whatever happened there, what happened there, we don't know. And that's what. So I think the prohibition was filed by the attorney because of the due process according to the Constitution. And that's what I suspect the court was looking to hear and put a stay on it until they can rectify that with the lawyers in Yeke. Because he's due that process by virtue of going to the court. The court just can't decide that, oh, your case don't hold water, we'll throw it. They have to hear the evidence. So that's why the court is in this. And that's why I keep saying this thing is going to drag on for another couple of weeks until we hear what the court say and see what happens. But it's a mess. It's a mess. And we're setting some precedents that are going to come and bite us later on. And as we see now, the quarrel is some people saying Yeke was done the wrong and this person. So that confusion is going to build up. And what's going to become of us? We're just going to become a laughing stock under democracy. And that's my main concern. I hope it just doesn't create a sense of security threat with people getting in the street and doing all kind of crazy stuff. And these are things that we need to start looking at, because we know the things that happen where people just get on the street and say we're going to protest.
Let's leave it there. Let's leave it there quickly. I want to hit your point, Dr. Mary. Terry, let's come to your point. Terry, you were expressing concern about.
Yeah, so I was talking about the vice president saying something completely different. I mean, the vice president saying something, and then right after he said what he said about the Putu Mountain deal and how they have decided to give the contract to Planet One instead of AMR, you know, and which is a Liberian company, so to speak. Right after that, the next day, we're hearing that the president, today I read something in the news that the president put a pause. On turning giving the contract over to Planet One. So my confusion is whether if the statement the vice president made warrant that the contract were going to be given to Planet One without the president awareness, without him being the one to agree to say we're giving the contract with all his knowledge. Let's put it that way, because there is a procurement process for all these things. But I believe the president's supposed to be aware, all right, because he sent the vice president on this assignment. So I thought that by the president putting a pause right after the vice president spoke on national television does not look good for the government. Yeah, so
in this case here, you brought this here. Who you think kicked the can down the road?
Well, that's why I'm confused. It could be the vice president. Maybe you were quick to speak.
You need to tell us because is you are doing good. You try to be like the liberal now, who when he says something, then he try to back up because he doesn't want to look. He doesn't want to be held accountable. And I agree. You alluded the fact that you believe the president. There's no way he was charged with the responsibility as maybe more or less the principal negotiator. So before he comes out, you have to consult your boss. And here we are now with this kind of thing. It's a big disconnect. So who you think? Somebody must be responsible.
Yeah, I would. That's what I'm saying, Mr. So I would hold. I don't know what transpired. The vice president told the Liberian people that they came to an agreement. They came to an agreement that the contract should be given to Planet One.
What is in your mind when he said they came to an agreement before even? Don't you think he reported to his boss?
That's what I would think. But now the way the boss put a pause on it, it seems like the boss did not make a decision on the matter yet. The matter, because apparently they came to an agreement
with the
team. The vice president has a team. So he was working with a team. So apparently the team came to agreement and they agreed that we will give this contract to Planet One because they meet the bar, they meet within the bar or the limit. But but apparently the president was not aware yet that they have finally concluded that this is what it is. But here is the thing that but where I'm confused at is that if the vice president is coming to tell us, the Liberian people, that they have agreed that this contract goes to this person, the president come and put a pause on it, it shows a disconnect. And that's what I wanted to speak to.
Okay. Terry has been very calculated and strategic. He's walking the less of the liberal here this week. So let me come to the Crown petitioner guy.
Oh, anyway, liberal, how you doing, sir?
I don't want him here.
I see the comment.
I'm not even listening. I'm not playing him. He's looking for attention. So look, Moses, this thing here, this sort of cat and mouse thing here being played here, does this in any way looks like experience or maturity happening here?
Well, CEO, the thing about it is that what we do on this show here is try to share our experiences and our knowledge so that we can educate people and people can educate us. So every time we come, we're educating each other. Number one is that I've always said on the show here that the vice president works at the pleasure of the president. And it's stated, the vice president job is very limited. He works under the directive of the president, and he oversees the Senate for vote counts. Those are his two responsibilities. But again, we've seen it's becoming more prevalent in Liberia that everyone holding press conferences when they don't need to. When they don't need to hold press conference. So what I deduce from what happened here is that the vice president was only trying to share what the people who he worked with on this have concluded, and it became a big news reporting because we know our media, they don't take time to verify stuff. And the president saying, just put a hold on it. And this is a lesson learned for the vice president and everybody else who are subordinated. Nothing, every buck stops at the president. Until the president gives approval to follow through. And I think the vice president was being maybe overzealous, or very happy that they came up with this decision so that they won't move forward. And he must have mistakenly spoken about it and what have you, and the people took it and ran with it. That is what, is there somebody talking?
Yeah, come on. You said if vice president mistakenly, he spoke about it?
Well, yes, it happens. And people can be overzealous and happy about something, and they may just mention it in a way that it wasn't intended to.
You guys like to always
wait a minute, Mr. So, wait a minute. Let me just land here, please. I beg you. I'm gonna give in the administration the open room to make sure that they are in order with what needs to happen. Because let me say this, we know, and there's no doubt in my mind, that people who give press conferences on issue are not in a legal capacity to do it. We've talked, we've spoken about it many times. Everybody giving press conference, they're not in a position to do it, and they've overstepped their bounds. That's why we see most of the cases today, some of the criminal cases are not being prosecuted today, and it's on the website just pending.
Okay.
Because those cases have been polluted or tainted by those press conferences. So that's all I can do, and that's my opinion. I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying that's my opinion, and people took it and ran with it. So the president said, let me put a halt on that right away. Because this other company that is a Liberian-owned company, I think it's the same lady, if I'm not mistaken, who's trying to put together the rebuilding of Hotel Africa, the renovation of Hotel Africa. And she has a whole group of professionals to invest in that.
Let's leave it there.
I'm just saying that, I think they will need to straighten it out because it doesn't look good. Just like the revenue, it doesn't look good for the administration. Period.
I want to get an independent version because
that's my independent version.
I understand. I was saying I want to get an independent version. The Terry and
that's mine. Ooh. So you got your own independent version.
Yeah, the Terry and Moses is always sort of there to kind of do something. Look, Dr. Malley, this whole thing here. Look, the old man said he was put in a. Is he putting Jeremiah Cohen in a garage now to try to pack him for? Because politicians, they get the weight to demonize and make you look like a buko man. Knowing the facts, Jeremiah Cohen is high in the higher office of the land. So there is a method involved in politics where you can make people lead to their self-destruction in their career. I can't imagine on planet Earth, a task was dedicated. You have to obviously report to your boss before you come and make public announcement, which is the normal case. But here we are, Terry Collins, Moses, the fixer, since the Liberal is not here tonight. They are reconstructing the scene here this evening. Let me hear you.
Well, I don't know why Moses and the men of God try to put a spin on this thing. The press is a watchdog. They report people utterances. The president has spoken. I think the problem here now is the president has put his vice president under the bus.
That truck, not bus, the one that 12 times.
Right? And one thing I like about His Excellency, he doesn't back and blow. He said it the last time. No matter what camp you came from to occupy a seat in his government, he can get you out at any time. And I think the same remedy applies to the vice president. All right? No press will get on and misquote the vice president. No press. But I think here is the disconnect. Either the vice president is overspeeding his van, or he trying to create a condition to undermine the system. And Joseph Boakai, being a pragmatic leader, trust me, he's going to backfire on these things because it was the same president that set up a presidential committee to be headed by the vice president. So assuming so many things went wrong, and maybe the vice president did not get in touch with the president and say, look, this is the final decision from our committee. And he decided to do things unilaterally. That's political undermining. And as a president, you have all right to step in anyhow you want. But I think it does not augurs well for the presidency. So assuming the vice president had made a statement, because it also casts doubt on the presidency that there's some disconnect between the office of the vice president vis-a-vis the committee and the president's office. So the question now is, if the president, let's assume they send their results from their committee and there were some loopholes, where as a president, you instruct the vice president to get back to the public and say, look, we take back our war. There are some finishing touches to get the president out of the picture. Now the president has come into the picture. It does not only cast doubt on the independency of the vice president office and his committee, it also casts doubt on the entire government. So there's some disjoint somewhere. There are no coherence. It doesn't augurs well. People will interpret now as there's some infight going on between the president and the vice president on certain issue like a concession issue. You see? So this is how ridiculous it is. It shouldn't have happened that way, because you have got so many layers now and people are perceiving it differently. So the vice president right now, he's in a very difficult spot right now. He can't go back to the press. And the press, trust me, the press is after him right now to tell them what went wrong, and his boss has to put the thing one side. He can't come back to the press right now. He's underwater. And the president too cannot come to tell what went wrong. And the vice president cannot tell what went wrong. So are we going back to the Wyashian era again? To be repeating some of the disconnect, even from the highest level?
So then this just is a perfect relation.
And you see the man of God and Moses, the security analyst, try to spin the thing around.
He gone. He gonna find out.
There's no way to spin this thing around. It is what it is. Something just terribly went wrong. And the president being who he is, he's not going to back down. And if the vice president cannot put himself in a very good position, he can be suspended by Joseph Boakai. President Boakai capable of doing that.
So, okay, quickly here. Terry, do you have anything to say before I don't know where Moses gone, and then I can shoot a video. We're almost tired. Do you have anything on the contrary?
Yes, because
it really doesn't look good. I don't know. It's a big disconnect, and it just speaks the volume of how polarized and divided the country is. I mean, the party people don't want Jeremiah Cohn in the first place. They don't want him. So it's obvious that those Moja boys that are running the show, this sort of political ploy will come in as a way of to hooking up. I hear you.
Yeah, so and that's the reason why I brought it up, because some would say, "Oh, why you had to bring it up?" Blah blah blah.
Okay,
but the thing is,
let me go ahead. I'll put it. You know the number, man. The number open to you, and then they brought the Chinese phone. Yes, so call. You call. We pick up your phone. Go ahead, Teresa.
So because I know it's going to trend sooner or later, people are going to take it out on a different level. But here is the thing, here, Mr. So and like you put it right, you put it in a way, a context that
yeah,
the airplane is needed. That plane is still negotiating. We're still negotiating.
Yeah, that back. Oh God, serious problem in that country. I see last year one plane they do not spoil that even movie. I know they. Oh man. Most say you're a hell of a man. You won't be there. Okay. Charlie, let me answer your so-called uncle, rescue uncle. Let's see where you get. Another Tabata man. Mr. Clarence Davis, good evening. Welcome. Go. Let's hear you. You can't tell, oh, why block now? Yeah, responsible for block who?
Yeah,
We're not hearing you.
Y'all see my plane, y'all start laughing. All right. Reverend, you're supposed to be praying for me, and
No.
Dr. Bali is supposed to be analyzing, people do some things together, but they're playing yet. They laughing about the project. Okay, we'll see.
Hold on 1 second, Mosey. Let's see. Let's hear you, Clarence. Yeah, but I don't know why you're sounding so low here tonight. Yeah, go ahead with managing it. Somebody playing. Hold on, Keto. Hold on 1 second. Keto, you playing something? Somebody playing something? I hear me. Yeah, go ahead.
We can't hear nothing.
Go ahead. Let's see.
Okay, as I was saying, I said that this is not a president first time.
Okay.
If people working with you, you giving them an assignment to do, and when they come over, then they make a statement, then you come where you want to sit down here, so there's a good working relationship. You did it to Amin Modar. When Amin Modar was serving as a Congress minister, at that period, Amin Modar, when the information, when they brought the press for the good, the very good, the person came on the air, they put her to air. They just happened the recent time again when the tourism group and the fire service, when they brought a process for the very area again, the person came out and canceled. So immediately after the 100% of people are coming on their own statement without he be aware of it. Before the president could travel to the state, the minister of information made an announcement to the mega press briefing that the vice president are going to have a press conference, in which all the candidates who attended the press conference were need them. So if they cannot decide, I'm not here. It's only for the press here. And you are leaders, you are giving somebody a time. The vice president, listen to the vice president statement he made. Everything he said he was instructed by the president. So do you think the vice president will get out and get go somewhere and get home made his own statement? To me, he's destroying your own legacy because all the people that work with you this time when they come with policy statement, then you come and get your make yourself a business and clean. I don't think that's the right way to run the country.
Wow, I think Liberal gonna really get mad with you, Clarence.
Oh.
Your relationship with break.
He's going to be suspended.
They're gonna expel you from that group.
I'll let Terry try. I said, put that guy volume up small.
The rescue said me rescue put the volume up.
We from the rescue team, we are not a backing brother of opposition. The fact that the matter was such a great or wrong, we will come back to see it, seal. So if we continue to have these things, here was sometimes taking organization can crash. You see them playing on the field, when they come on the report, when they get down when they submit it, then you come and get to present yourself of the supreme. But watch them like them before were not before the person.
It's the clean.
Yeah, so but Clarence, the thing here tonight, your Tara Collins came and did a salad dressing here. The gentleman from Delaware, he did say the next thing he went on, he brought planes to tell all that the plane sound, and they were not hearing all the plane sound was too much. So the president didn't hear what Jeremiah Kun was saying. He can't put air like Bureau or Bogamba.
One of the things that, what they say that people made is to always one white leader when the leader are proceeding wrongly. Because this contract that we are talking about for the entire country, not only for unified government. So today, tomorrow, when the contract go through in 2029, opposition party take over. When they cancel the contract, no. So So when they write it below, don't see in the states that we will be able to get information because we don't want where the CDC gave that to say Papu is strong.
Okay.
When they're going on wrong, don't tell him that their procedure is done right. Because if you just say somebody, every time people that are working with him at the appointer, when they come out with policy statement, then the person will come out and say, you can't say that. That's not the first time, not the second time, not the 10th time.
So there's a pattern here. There's a history of he doing those kind of things. Okay. Well, good to hear that. Let me bring in Walton Kettle. Thank you so much.
Before I leave the land, then you get issue that you've been talking about. You get after the Tamaquin part, the Tamaquin part. So he allowed for the CDC to talk for power to use him at the end of the day, the move ahead behind. Now CDC are for 2 candidates already for that position. So unlikely government is going to make this and that they will come by. You will make no people not pay attention. Okay, thank you for the show.
Thank you so much. Okay. Kato, you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Well, I see cat eating their own baby here.
You heard a liberal crying 2 days ago, right?
Yes. I want to show.
I think I called a house today. They told me his eyes all swollen. Why? I couldn't believe it. They saw a time said, Daddy asked. Daddy says, his son ain't going. I said, nothing going. He was crying. He cried last night. Now, why he ain't counting that? Wow.
And then he rescued three crying tonight again. No, but on a serious note, hi, gentlemen. And, I'm sad. Sorry for coming very late. Had some serious engagement on the other side. Yeah, but Mr. So something caught my attention. I don't want to distract the topic, but something really caught my attention today in Liberia. And I think it's a creeping danger in our society.
What happened to your phone?
The liberal for them messing with your phone. They met you, he brought back a cola.
We don't hear you.
You can hear me, huh?
No, we're not hearing. You need to change your location.
Goodness. I will go and come back in. I will go back and come back in.
Okay. All right. All right. I know all right. Moses, let's go to your, I think we have talked enough on the one. Let's go to your own point, and we can take 15 minutes before we wrap up. That will be over the time, but that's okay.
Yeah. And I think I brought the issue of the threat of again, the blazes of fire. We have fire on 15th Street over the weekend. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. Because you did this, that's why. We're seeing the engulf of fire. We're talking about serious fire in Liberia. I think it has stopped a little bit. And I'm concerned that these fires, I'm not sure if the fire have been followed by, those incidents have been followed by investigation to see the cause of fire and to do some prevention in there or what have you, or to begin to train people on how to avoid fires or the cause of fire, just to announce to the people some of those things that can prevent fires so that businesses can stop burning down. And it takes a while before the fire truck comes, and you come one fire truck and one tank that has the water in there. They got to connect the hose while the thing is burning down. So I think this is a threat to public safety. And I don't know how they plan to address it, but it's a serious issue that needs to be addressed. And maybe put some things in place that will start teaching some preventive measures on what to do if you have a business, to unplug your stuff because the electricity keep going off and on. Or now, I think there has to be some investigation. We didn't have fire for a little bit. So we're beginning to see fire now. So as compared to last year, was it the same time that we started to see the engulf of fire or not? Then that means there's some something that is going on around this time, this season, that is causing people's houses to get on fire, either electrical or something. But those things need to be analyzed and investigated so that we can start preventing some of these fires from happening, because it's creating serious threat to public safety, and that's my concern.
Okay, that's your concern. But what am I concerned with here? No time has cut over. But let's have Dr. Mali and Terry to also chip in with this here. He said you're going to be buying more fire trucks. What's the outlet and all of that? You need to pull fire hydrants all in the street and all of that. Why is this thing? Are people responsible for this? Is it a sort of organized crime? Quickly, Moses, do you think it's some sort of organized crime? As a
And
matter
that's where the investigation. I don't know. We have fire service investigators to determine how these fires are igniting or anything for that matter. But again, those are the things that we talk about prevention. You go and study the situation, come up with whether or not these things are deliberately set, or who's setting it, what the cause of it, and start to put some preventative measure. And it's just basic education in education the public also. And you start to do that. That's the first action. Why you look for bringing fire trucks and putting hydrants all over the place. And building hydrants is not an easy thing because we don't have the kind of running water system that other developed countries have. And those people plan and already had the map of where the fire hydrants would be. It's already on the blueprint. And to build that, it's going to take serious money. So the first approach is to do some fire prevention, start training people how to use extinguishers. If there's small fire, if there's big fire, before this thing happens, this is what you do. And some of those things, just so people can be, aware of some of those things. And those things can be done through PSA, public service announcement, and all of that. Before you call the fire, when you're calling the fire, make sure you give them specific number areas, and you plan people so that these people can know to direct the fire truck, where to go when they come in, and you need to clear the area, the perimeter. All of these things are basic little training that the citizens themselves can do to protect them, their property and their own safety. And that's what I'm looking at now. The investigation people will determine whether these fires are arson or not. And I think we need to create something to make sure that happens. At some point, some kind of response needs to be put in place.
All right. You get a fire chief who wore a purple suit with gold watch, went on a crime scene. I don't know where you're going to get it. Okay. Terry, you want to add a piece to what Moses said?
Yes, Mr. Sigbe, I think you got a point. But the fire thing is going to take a long haul in trying to get it solved because of the congestion. You also have to have the public works helping to demarcate homes. I think that's why they had the alleyways created, so the closeness of homes cannot lead to a huge bigger fire outbreak. So there are so many things that needed to be done. And I do agree with you on the investigation part. One of the things we are not doing in Liberia is investigating fire. We just allow for all the fires to be considered, fire, the community run there and put it up. But some of these fires, like the other day I saw a video where one guy burned somebody's property. I don't know if you guys saw that video too, and they caught him, he was running around, all the kind of things. So there have been a lot of allegations that people use kerosene or gas on people's property and send fire there. So that is a good question you ask. Do we have a fire? Do we have people that can do investigation on fire and stuff? I doubt it. But my recommendation also would be that people need to put there's a fire stuff in the home, and the extinguisher that you mentioned too, and this fire detector.
Fire
Smoke
detector.
smoke detector, yeah. Yeah, and I think that would be a very good thing if the fire department can, educate. I think the president fires one of the fire person, I think that deputy or minister or something, I heard that you either fire or suspend. I got to look at it. But yeah, so I think that is something that we got to look at because every dry season will have massive fire burn all over the country. I think, and Brayla is a congested area, so we got to look at it.
With the fire detector, they need to educate the people on how it works too.
Exactly.
You don't
Now,
just give it to them.
exactly.
That's the education piece. That's the preventive measure, being proactive.
Exactly. And I think it's supposed to be it's supposed to make it even mandatory.
You see, then that means that there has to be a law. I mean, you have to, if you're doing mandatory, then you either provide it to them to have it there, and you have inspectors go there, especially for the big businesses. And they can pay back. If they don't have it, they pay the fines. You raise your money back.
Let's leave it there. Let me go to Dr. Mali.
Yeah, I think we are missing some significant pieces in the discussion. First of all, we need to consider the type of society we have. There's a fundamental difference between a primitive society and a sophisticated system form of society. We are in the United States. We are experiencing a sophisticated society here, and a sophisticated society go with a package. And the package requires laying out your community. It requires extensive education on certain things. And it requires enforcement and punishment. So one of the fundamental questions here is this. Government responsibility. Has government come close to meeting up its own responsibility when it comes to fire? The answer is no. The home builders, have they come up with their own responsibility to build these homes? The answer is no. The people that call themselves electricians. Then the question now is the type of school they went to and how they're connecting these things. Have they been able to be encountered by outside ideas, or it just the home ball electrician moving from one place to another, cutting these and other things? You have a society that is not laid out. Then you talk about fire hydrants. Fire hydrant belong to sophisticated society. Fire extinguisher, is that our priority? Most Liberian people don't have time for this thing. They see that as a waste of time. Even if you can call, you go to town hall now, try to educate people about fire, telling people each car should carry a fire extinguisher. Some people will tell you that this is a waste of time. You see? So what I can say that even the investigator also talk about, who trained the investigator to investigate what they're looking for? Do they know the different fire hazard? Who are the investigators? Did they go to school? They don't understand the ramification and dynamics of fire. Which one you're supposed to put water on? Which one you're not supposed to put water on? Do we really understand all the ramifications? The fire chief, the people that call themselves fire bosses all over the place, they ever went to any fire school? Were they even trained to understand some of the dynamics? You see? So we got a long way to go. So the only solution here is we have to leave it as it is and keep moving on, and the survivor the fittest.
Wow.
You can't do nothing about that. There's people going on 1847. You can correct that right now when people are looking for food to eat.
But Dr. Mali, you said to leave it as it is. That's dashing the hope of the people.
No, you know why I use that word? I use that word because we don't do anything about the situation until one house is gutted in fire. Then the whole fire burning all over the place.
Well, Dr. Mali.
Let me go to the security analyst.
Yeah,
He's talking. The security analyst is talking because a major market is on fire, and now he's talking. We can't be, that's questioning a patriotic citizen. You see?
You're kidding me?
Let us come out. Yes, I'm killing you. Yes. We don't talk about this thing until one building is on fire.
Okay, Dr. Mali.
Buildings are not on fire. Why we don't talk about these things? Because the security analyst had through his eye
on this big market got her in fire, and so it has become an agenda for the security analysts.
Dr. Mali decided
the question now is, where is our patriotism to the Republic of Liberia when it comes to this segment?
Okay, Dr. Mali. Let me get CEO.
I'm very disappointed at the security analyst at this time because he saw a market on fire, and he want to talk to these things.
CEO.
Labor, you need to come up because
No, Labor don't need to come today. I can defend myself. You don't need to come here.
Dr. Mali, just switch to the volume. The same thing we've been talking. You and I have been talking. These guys are just accustomed to manage crisis. They don't crisis. He's here now. Now he's telling her, and who do they want this and that? But he has never told us. He's not been doing. Now he's in the crisis management side here, and he wants to make an argument.
I beg you. Let me just say a couple of things. I beg you. Number one, let me just straighten this thing out because Dr. Mali becomes a radical and says all these innuendos, and then he doesn't even know what he's talking about. That's not your field. Stay to the education side. Now, hear what it is. When in law enforcement, when you get shooting, when you get multiple shooting in an area, you go and study the area and you try to become proactive so that it won't occur again. Number one. Number two is that this is not my first time talking about fire. Go back, look at the other clippings. I made mention another building that got engulfed on the weekend or on Friday on 15th Street that I watched. I did mention that during my presentation just now. So it's not because of the market. And yes, it's important because the market ground is where you have a very populated community. And I'm speaking in the notes of public safety. You got to understand the word public safety.
Here we go.
Market don't do with public. The market, that's not what I'm talking about. So for you to attack me, I think it's totally out of order. Your opinion is totally out of order. You need to stay with the education side. And I will not challenge you when you talk about education. But don't challenge me when I talk about public safety.
Labor, you got to come to me because the CEO show is upside down.
CEO, I think I agree with Moses.
Thank you.
The problem now is this a government priority? You're talking about education.
Now you talk
interest.
Yes.
You keep talking about public safety. We don't know that terminology in Africa. No, we don't know those things.
We use it there though.
Now we want to take the modern idea to enforce it on a primitive society.
Why are you abusing our people?
That doesn't work. In the first place, no. In the first place, let me direct you to West Point. West Point is densely populated. You get zinc shack as roof, zinc shack as wall. I come in now, and you get wire running through all those zinc shack going all over the place. Where is the public education? Where is the role of government to go and demarcate this place and break it down and create a system in that place? If one house catch fire in West Point right now, you know how many houses going to burn?
Now you're on my side. Now you're on my side.
You say public safety.
Now you're on my side.
No. You are talking about public safety. What I'm saying, government don't speak this language.
Guys, caught up with us now. Let me.
But Dr. Mali, how do you expect for us to do the work now?
We cannot do the work because we are running a primitive society and we got to leave it as it is.
No, you can't leave it as it is. We got to take some action. We got to make some suggestions here.
Exactly. That's what we hear.
What the action the government is taking? So many houses have been burned in our town.
That's what is the action? Dr. Mali, that's why we're having the conversation.
That's why we're having the conversation.
We are the wrong messengers. We can only make
Why you say that? No one is wrong.
How many policies have you put in place to send it to the Liberian government?
No, that's not.
Let's get to the nitty-gritty now.
No. Listen. If they requested, if they want us to help, we will help.
They got to request it?
Oh, yes, they have to.
But then you're not patriotic.
But this is his contribution, Dr. Mali. He's already making a contribution here.
Everywhere I work,
we want a contribution, pen to paper.
Listen, Bubs, man. Everywhere you go to work, people ask you to review policy after 5 years and see what recommendation you want to submit. and propose.
Let's-
That's how it's done. We're sitting here, we see these things happening, and we have people with the like minds to put some of these policies together, and that the Liberian people and that the government should know that people in the diaspora who are specialized in this area who won't mind contributing their time to do that. Now, if they want to have the conversation, then we are. But we have to introduce it to them.
No,
and I think they show it's an appropriate place. Wait a minute. It's an appropriate place to petition those things.
Moses, okay, guys, let's leave it at only one chauffeur at a time. Let me play this video here. It's something I tell the security analysts are very often, he always on the watch to get something. Probably this one just slipped for him, and I know Terry, he might have seen it. We yet to establish the authenticity of this video, whether it's a creation, whether it's actually on Liberian soil or whatever it is, but I'm saying, and I'm trying to really find out what it is. Let me play it. I think Moses and all of us can do our last push, and before we can go, I know he has surfaced other places. Let's listen to this.
Yes, sir.
Thing that caused everybody to run away. All these villages, nobody is there now. And our civil Ministry of Internal Affairs responsibility to maintain peace. We decide to come to do a peaceful engagement to know what is the cause of this particular visit. And what my boss and myself came along with some members of the press.
Leur venue, c'est pas pour aller voir le préfet, mais plutôt c'est la situation qui est là, parce qu'ils voient que tous les villages environnants ici, tout le monde a fui. Personne n'est là-bas. Donc, lui, à son tour, en tant que chef de la localité, donc il a le plein droit de venir s'entretenir avec nous pour savoir qu'est-ce qui ne va pas sur le terrain.
Ok, très simple. Dis-lui, et puis y aller voir avec le préfet. Et puis même appeler son homologue préfet qui est à Guéguédou. Lui va lui donner tout de suite, c'est-à-dire il va éclaircir la position tout de suite.
Okay.
Hein?
Ça vous lui dit de suite. You can call the prefect of Guéguédou. That one, we give him all the situation.
Of your being here now.
Yeah, of our being.
But you have his number, you can have it with his land. But we didn't have a contact.
Quelqu'un a son numéro.
So that we can give it to the boss.
Non, avec le préfet, c'est quoi le centre? Demandez le préfet seulement. Il a...
Okay, you can ask the prefet.
Okay, when we get by in house. So that's our visit here. Yeah. When they come to here, why you people here for so far? And we didn't come to cross.
Okay.
When they come to make sure.
Thank you.
Bosman, thank you. Thank you, yeah. Thank you. So we'll be back. Okay. Let me talk with him.
So this is, like I said, the authenticity of this, the specific place, this and that, blah, blah, blah. But this is something relative to apparently what is going on at the Guinean border. If the authenticity of this footage, video, is established, it is a problem. What are this gentleman, and that's what I'm trying to, we're going to find out, whether he's actually the proxy of the government.
Yep.
Who sent him, the tone, the language he went with. Then the question becomes, where is the diplomacy that is taking place? That is a serious concern. I mean, I hope this is not what is going on to the Guinea border. But if it is, then there's a questions of what a conversation is taking place. You see the French people, that who they are, very hostile. So you're talking about, you say the man McCall, he asking for, give me a number so we can call. They say, call our commander, call the superintendent of that area and things like that. Because deployment before it takes place, it comes from way up.
Exactly.
This is a calculative move by these people. It's a complete occupation.
Exactly.
It's a complete occupation. You saw there are people that all posted in holding up. And you get, we're not counting, we just can't find. Where you still finding out how many weeks, days today? So what is the length of conversation, the route of engagement? All of these conferences, talking, we've been hearing. and to see this still happening. We just have to pray, but something not right. I don't know who is in charge, who is leading this thing, who is the principal negotiator, who sent this guy. Is that a minister of internal affairs saying, or the government? Like, bro, I don't know whose mandate these people that went. They don't even look like good negotiator. People that are deployed, you don't go to the people in the higher up, you go to the man, and that's why you told him, say, call the people. You don't get that money, you'll find that number. Terry, let's hear you.
Yeah, Mr. So I think this is very scary. And I think, in my opinion, the government is paying a little attention to this process. I don't see any real force. I don't see any real effort. I don't even see information coming from there to brief the Liberian people in regard to what is going on. I don't know if it's a society bush. Maybe those who were in the society bush can tell us what can go on there. But to be honest with you, this is scary. It's very scary. And these guys look like they can even advance anytime soon. It looked like they can advance in onto our Liberian land anytime soon. I don't know what the government is doing. The last time I heard, people only chasing after people who make comments about the military that already on the internet all over the place. People removing lawmakers for making comments, but it seems like these guys are doubling down on the occupation. So what is the government doing in regards to the negotiation, the diplomacy? We don't see effort, being made significantly in that direction. So are we overlooking this thing? Have we left it completely? Are we sitting back and laying by and say, let this thing just happen? I'm still baffled that how can this continue to persist and little effort is being done. The legislature was supposed to be for 10 days. They went there, nothing major was discussed. Only Yeke Koluba business, the whole thing. Now they are gone. So, and the only understanding they could come to was to increase the military money. The border was not discussed. I don't know if they discussed it, but I didn't see it on TV. There have been no major emphasis on that particular location. And bad things can start small.
All right. Thank you so much. Dr. Mali, we are here seeing what is happening in your backyard, and you here receiving peace, whatever. What's it award, Terry?
The award? I don't know the name of the award, but it's an African
Peace Conference Award.
Yeah. But I was looking at that award and I didn't see it to be a international receive award. It's just a...
My argument here is there are things going on in the country, and you as a commander-in-chief, on a second census, on a second condition, such as what we are talking about now, I think as a president, you remain in the country, you be in charge of the country to give command, to give instruction, directions of the country, and then the vice president or foreign minister can proxy affair. That what is happening is more important than whatever award or prize that is being given. Seeing what we are saying, if the authenticity of this footage is properly established, something is not right. So then the question becomes, where is this conversation? Who is that? Mean Guinea is not nobody. They're not listening to us. For them to have their people in full military gear position. Dr. Mali.
Well, it seems to be those of us outside in the diaspora, it seems to be we are finding more problem with this issue than the people in Liberia. Now, this issue was engagement, now it's gone to occupation. Then from occupation, it's going to go to possession. So the question now is, Are we as a government saying that, okay, when the tire sitting down there, when they tire, they will go back.
They will go back.
When they tire, they will go back. Let's pay attention to this other thing here. But when they tire there, they will go back. I think this is the approach I see being taken right now. Oh, when the tire standing by that river there, they will go back. All right. And for the Guineans, if they stay to that place for the next 1 year, that complete possession now, and no more occupation, then it's like the 32 villages around that terrain will have to adapt to the Guinean now, that they're sharing land now, and go there and coexist. Because the Guinean, they have maintained their position. They are there. They're not removed, they're not going anywhere. So it's like the tendency, when they're tired, they will go home. I think this is what we have adapted now. So for those who are in the diaspora, we are finding more problem with the issue than the Liberian in Liberia. Because even in Liberia now, I was even asking 2 of my immigration friends that were to that place that he said, oh, the issue are looking at dying down now, looking at going away, or looking at the Guinean, they will just stay to that place and we just forget about it. It's a little piece of land, we just let them have it, then we move ahead with our lives. I think that's what's happening. And that's going to be a very dangerous precedent. You see, the Guineans, they're there, they fortify. They are very committed, honor their commander-in-chief command, stay there, and they are there. You see, we are not talking about the issue anymore in Liberia. So it seems to be now, it's going to be a normal issue now. Let it just be there, that piece of land, they take it no problem. So from engagement to occupation, now it's moving on to possession.
And by the time you go low, Africa on the other side say, oh, this are here for all.
So at the end of the day now is...
we can't do anything to Africa.
Yeah, and at the end of the day now, we'll politicize this thing by saying, as a government, we still talking. So that means we can even be talking for the next 6 years. Guinea are still there. The next 5 years, the Guinea will still be there. So the 32 villages around our Solomba area, I think my suggestion to them now is, instead of them going to sit on the rock, on the fence, to keep looking at the Guinean, hoping that tomorrow they will leave, every day they will leave, they can't leave, every day they will leave, they can't leave. Let them go back to their villages and start normal business, because this thing is not going anywhere. That's the end of the road.
Let's leave it there. Let me go to Moses with the expertise. Moses, before you come in here, what could have been the conversations? Let's digress a little bit. What could have been the conversation? And maybe Terry want to weigh into, he can do it because he has fish to fry, anything. If it was the presidency of George Weah, and we see what is unfolding today, and George Weah left to go watch football game or go receive Monaco peace, whatever, what do you think the conversation would have been to?
Well, that's a tough question you give me to answer.
You need to answer it.
I cannot.
No.
Why you tell me?
You need to give it the expert. You got to answer that question.
Don't tell me that's a tough question.
You can't tell me about George Weah.
I'm just going.
But on a serious note, Mr. So, in the beginning of this thing, when you go back to the first time we had this conversation, I give you quite a bit of hypotheticals based on security experiences and what this thing could lead to. And I always use the word the subordinate conjunction. If this is true, then we're in for X, Y, and Z. If this is really happening, because we do those things because we can't say yes or no on issue in security. It's an ongoing investigation, always in the mind of law enforcement. They want to see what something's going to lead to. And they always want to be proactive. They want to be 2 steps ahead. If this thing happened, this is going to happen. So for me, we suspected that these things were going on. And then we spoke again when they talked about Koluba, Yeke Koluba. And what Yeke Koluba said, Yeke Koluba spoke and said it was his own opinion. He did his own survey, his own research, and found out that the land that was being occupied by these people is their land. And that's why he was being kicked out of office for. And we brought that conversation up to talk about it. Now, no one has gone there to do any survey. We know our speaker and deputy speaker went there. They talked about the media exposed the fact that just for that 2 days that they went there, they spent, $3 million? They gave them that kind of money to go down there. We talked about police officers not being in the appropriate positions to go to not even confront, but to just go to a place where militarily trained people should be. And people thought we were saying the wrong thing. And that we in fact suggested that the children who put down with the bravery, took the Guinean flag from there and hoisted the Liberian flag, should be targeted as our future military personnel. They need to start doing some recruiting of these people to build to fortify our military, and that these young men needs to be commended for the job well done. We saw people going there and having good fun and laughing about it, taking pictures, posting on pictures. Those are not important for security when you have somebody coming to invade your land. You have to put something in place. And I think it has come to the point where I think the government needs to send a representative down there to either look at the survey, look at the land, look at some of these things that we're saying, like you said. You don't know whether this video is authentic or not. Find out who this person is that went there to represent the Liberian government through the Ministry of Local Government or whatever. And I think I sent that video on the chat room. Because when I saw it, I got concerned as you. What is this going on? How do we investigate these kind of things? How authentic this video is? Where is this guy coming from? Asking these questions, communicating with these guys. And these people are very comfortable where they are. The people are shaking hands at the end. And they felt comfortable. So all of these things need to be really looked at by our national security, our NSA people. The police don't have the training to do that. It's the NSA that collect information and analyze those information so that they can make the determination what next step is and make recommendation to the president or through the national security advisor and all of these things. There's a protocol to this, and I think they need to look at this seriously. They need to look at this seriously upon the return of the president and his entourage.
Return of the president.
But CEO, I have a question. Assuming
for Moses and Terry?
No, for Moses. Assuming Liberian had encroached on the other side of the land, you think what would have been the reaction of the Guinean?
Well, I'm sure the reaction. I'm sure
you think they were going to go for negotiation. You think they're going to?
Well, I don't suspect that. I think there has to be. I can't tell you predict what they will do, but
the Guinean were going to force you to leave from there by force.
Well, that's your own opinion.
Saying you won't spin it.
Yeah.
The Guinean were going to come.
Who's spinning it?
I'm coming now. I said the Guinean were going to come and move you from down there by force.
Okay.
Yes, that's what they were going to do.
If that's the tactic, then that's fine. Then we will see what happens.
But
because I cannot assume that they were going to do that and go and do what because out of assumption. And those are things that people do when they make mistakes and they make serious mistakes. You cannot assume or preempt that someone's going to do this. And it all will come back and backfire. You see what the United States is in now, talking about Iran? They were talking about preempting that Iran was going to do this. They were going to, do X, Y, Z, and they went there, wanted to find out the people didn't even do nothing. Now the same Congress here is now bashing the president and say you preempt. People are building nuclear weapons, and the people are not building nothing, and all that kind of stuff. So you can't react on assumption.
All right, tell
law enforcement, you have to understand that you have to seek the fights before you do something. And we just got to be careful when we do these things.
All right. Terry, you want to say something?
CEO, we can hear you.
Yeah, I think we can hear you.
You
I
know,
can
hear
hear him, but
You can
except
hear him?
you, yeah, I can hear him, but maybe
I
you.
can hear you.
Well,
But you
Oh,
hear
okay.
him?
I gotta
So you
shut it
talking?
off and come back because wait a minute. You see, that's what it do to me. Every time somebody leaves, my microphone shut down. I can't hear him, but I'm sure he can hear me.
Well,
you're talking Tabata.
Yeah,
What?
let me
maybe that
re-enter.
liver, maybe that liver doing it. I don't know. Maybe.
you made me so scratchy here.
But go and come back in because we already need your expertise.
We already it's 10:38 now.
Yes, I wanted to know from Mr. Sigbe whether if Liberia can file a lawsuit against Guinea for occupying on the land. Because what I'm reading here, there's a possibility. I think the only court that can handle that issue is the RCJ court. But
that's an
Guinea
court.
Yeah, Guinea have to be under that court. They have to be. I don't know if they're under the RCJ.
Yeah, they have to be something to,
and they also have to consent to want to allow the investigation before they can probe into it.
And then the West scenario is military government. So military government runs on decree. So
exactly.
So it's just another.
But the man got elected by electoral process, so he's no more a.
No.
So, but
Leopard, my man.
I tell you,
Okay, Mr. Collins, thank you so much. And all right, thank you. Well, folks, that does it this evening. We went extremely over the time, but that is okay. It's better to have these conversations. We want to thank you so much for sharing your evening, your morning with us, whatever you are, being part of today's conversation, just by your tweet, your comments, and those of you that call in. Tomorrow, same time, same station. Tomorrow is what, Thursday? Oh, the woman going to be back here tomorrow with another Tabata. John, a liberal progressive, and his reverend from Minnesota, Minneapolis, Minnesota, in their Tabata recovery and their man Clarence David. Have a pleasant evening, and we'll be back here at some point in time for more program. Bye-bye.
May 2nd, we are outside. To all my Liberian people, our neighboring countries, Americans, call the number on the flyer, get your ticket, get your African wear. This is an event you don't want to miss.
This is an event you don't want to miss. That's tomorrow. You're going to be, not tomorrow, this weekend. In the ocean state of Rhode Island, there will be an Africans Gala event to showcase the beauty of Liberia. We will be also. We will be there. If you're within the New England belt, you are wholeheartedly welcome. I am Alfonso Zian, so have a pleasant evening. By God's willing, we'll be back here for more programs. Good night.